Hey everyone, it's Kristen again. Today I wanted to talk about DC versus Marvel. It was a crossover event that they did in the 90s, 1996. They actually put out a ballot for fans to vote on, like who do you think would win in a battle um, of Hulk versus Superman, for example, and the fans voted on it, and then they wrote it into this series, which I thought was really cool. Like I really always like this series because it's always fun to see, like, for example, like Joker and Spider-Man. Like who would have thought you'd see those two characters on the same page, let alone in the story, same storyline. Um, or like Superman and the Juggernaut. But anyway, so this series was basically these two sentient beings, um, brothers, so to speak. They each were responsible for the creation of the universe. Like one created the DC universe, one created the Marvel universe, and they decided there's not room enough for both the universes. So we're gonna have a contest. Like we'll choose our champions from our universes, and whoever wins in that contest of champions, so to speak, then their universe gets to stay, and the other universe disappears. So basically, they go through like the little introduction, like saying, Wonder Woman, uh, Hulk, Superboy, Lobo. Not a super popular character. He was kind of in the 90s, but he's not like super popular. Green Lantern, Elektra, Flash, Thor, Aquaman, Silver Surfer, Captain Marvel. DC's Captain Marvel, not not Marvel's Captain Marvel. Although she's not always been called Captain Marvel, she took up the mantle when the original Captain Marvel died. Um, I always liked her more as Ms. Marvel because of her connection to Rogue, um, and that connection to that name. Because uh, Rogue's foster mom, Mystique, told her, in order to pull up this heist, she needed to steal Ms. Marvel's powers because Ms. Marvel was in the way. And so, Mystique's like, hey, just. And I mean, Rogue was a bad guy at that point, but having stolen Ms. Marvel's powers, like holding on too long, she actually like absorbed her persona as well. Like in some of the issues of X-Men, you'll see Carol Danvers, that side of her personality taking over Rogue. Like there's this one issue where one of my favorite issues, which we'll talk about more later, but the X-Men X-Women go shopping, and Carol Danvers takes over Rogue's body, like, and she goes shopping, and then Rogue later is like, what the hell am I wearing? What is this? And she's like, what happened? Like, I don't remember anything. So it's kind of interesting to when they explore that. Later on in issues, they didn't explore that as much, which was kind of disappointing because I really liked that dynamic and then going kind of back and forth. It just made her an even more interesting and complex character. Anyway, I digress. I'm sorry. But anyway, it's really interesting to see like Bullseye like in the Batcave, or let's see, or here's Robin at the like Generation X mansion with Jubilee and Husk. And like I said, um, Jubilee was during the 90s, the animated series. So people consider her popular. Don't I don't really think she was ever popular. I didn't really like that character. But anyway, she was, I guess, popular, and so they, kind of threw her in there to add a like teenage kid aspect to like the X-Men and stuff. Or you have like fights like uh, Bane versus Captain America, or the Riddler versus Daredevil. Interesting things like that. Or like Batman versus Venom. Obviously, these aren't really like fights. They just show like the one panel of it, but it's still cool to see these different characters, like I said, in the same story, not just on the same page, but in the same story. Oh, and like this has been like a big topic of debate lately. Who would win between Thanos and Darkseid? Honestly, I don't know the answer to that. Just because I like Marvel, I would think of Thanos, but really, if he doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet, then is he really that powerful to defeat him? Darkseid, I don't know, honestly. If you want to comment below, and let me know. Oh, and like I thought this was interesting. Like, look, I don't know if you can. There we go. Looney Tunes, Pinky and the Brain. Like, where else are you gonna find that? I just thought that was really cool too. Let's see. Oh, and like here's the two, and all the characters. And so basically this one guy, like he's the guardian of it, and he's trying to like hold the universes together by holding the portal together. And so like here's the first fight, so to speak, Captain Marvel versus Thor. And Thor's the winner because Captain Marvel has to change it back into Billy Bastion, and then he tries to change back, but in order to change back, he has to like be hit by the lightning bolt, and Thor blocks it. And then like, let's see, of course, like Flash versus Quicksilver. I mean, of course Flash is going to win. I mean, Quicksilver is just like a knockoff Flash, even though I love the X-Men, don't hate me. But like the X-Men movie where Quicksilver was in Days of the Future Past, like that was really awesome. Like his scene where he saved everybody, that was awesome. Like they did a really good job with that. Like Aquaman versus Namor. Aquaman won because he dropped a whale on Namor, and he was unable to move. And so yeah. And let's see. Oh, Jubilee versus Robin. Robin won. I mean, as he should have. I mean, forget it. Green Lantern versus Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer won. Elektra versus Catwoman. They both talk about how they're not heroes, but yet they were chosen, so they're going to fight to save their universes. Elektra wins. She cuts Catwoman's whip, and Catwoman falls into basically a sandbox, which is ironic, and like is knocked unconscious, so that's funny. Oh, and here you see like Peter Parker flirting with Lois Lane, and then here comes Clark Kent, who is really Superman. And it's funny because Peter's like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. You could squash me like a bug. Huh? Did you get it? Did you get the irony? Anyway. And then, let's see. Oh. Like, in the fight versus Lobo and Wolverine, you don't really see that much of it. I mean, Wolverine wins. And then, at one point, Wonder Woman finds Thor's hammer. She's able to pick it up, and her costume looks really cool. And she's facing Storm, and Storm's like, wow, you're super overpowered, but I will fight you anyway. And Wonder Woman says, no, I'm not going to fight because that's cheating. So she drops the hammer, and she loses because Storm hits her with lightning bolts. Let's see. Spider-Man versus Superboy. Superboy loses because he's just kind of I guess most people think of him as like a lame knockoff Superman. I mean, I guess. Oh, and Thor versus Hulk versus Superman. Of course Superman wins because he's Superman. I mean, how are you going to beat Superman? And then Captain America versus Batman. It's kind of like I guess Batman wins because Captain America becomes unconscious because the water. But it kind of, he kind of wins by default. And like, so the guy who's trying the Guardian, he puts a shard of each universe in Batman and one in Captain America, so that like he can try to save the universes that way, so that maybe the brothers won't find the shards, and they can like later put everything back the way it was. But But first they have to like hide it so that they don't know. And then they go into this whole thing of like where the universes merged, and you can see all these cool characters that are created, like Captain America and Superman become one character, Batman and Wolverine become one character, um, Storm and Wonder Woman become one character. It's a really cool series. Like they have a whole like do a whole series about those. So, and basically, um, they have like a couple issues where they try to, figure out how to put the universes back. And then well, I don't want to ruin it for you, but basically what happens is the brothers both like open themselves up to each other and see what a good job they each did with their respective universes. And they both say, oh my gosh, good job. Like they see Captain America's origin, and they see Batman's origin, and yeah, pretty much they're like, wow, good job. Like, see, you've done well. And that's pretty much the end of it. Because it says, and the brothers look at each other as if truly seeing each other for the first time. Centuries, eons pass. As the brothers come to the slow realization that they who encompass the whole of reality. They have begun smaller than the smallest of their components. In a billion years hence, the brothers, for the first time in recorded and unrecorded history, speak, and they both say the same thing. You've done well. And apparently, like, the characters can remember, like, Jubilee's crying because she and Robin had, like, a thing, and, it's over. But anyway, like I said, it was still really a really cool like thing at the time. It was like so like you're like, oh my gosh, wow, Marvel and DC coming together to create this series. I can't believe it. And then they did, like I said, like 12 issues of each of the meshed together melded characters, and it was just so exciting at the time. Like I don't see them ever doing anything like this again, just because there's so much like competition between them now. I mean, it seemed like in the 90s it was just about like, hey, everyone, we just want everyone to love comic books. We just, we love our product. We love comic books. We want everyone else to love them like as much as we do. And now it just seems like well, okay, from the movies, it seems like who can make the most money, which Marvel's funny on that because their movies are better and making more money. Anyway, I mean, it would be really cool if they did another, series like this, but I don't think they're going to. But you should really check it out. Like, I'm sure I didn't explain it that well, but you should really check it out and read it because it's really interesting. It's really fun. It's a really fun read. Anyway, thanks for watching with me and sharing this with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.